Okay, Milena, I am so excited. I would like you to come into my office and I want to talk about how marketing people can be more curious. Come into my office.
Oh.
Just this way. Grab a seat. So, I'm pretty sure most top marketing consultants in London work in little cubby holes in pubs. It's probably the best place to come up with ideas. So, I've prepared a little something for you. First off, I'm inspired by your chocolate gift, but what I want to talk to you guys about is the fact that I think there's something missing in marketing today, and it's not a social media strategy, it's not let's just do more on Instagram. I think brands have lost their curiosity. They've stopped asking questions. They said, we've always done it this way, John, I'm sorry, but we've always just cared about our followers on Twitter and Instagram. Yeah, but can I stop you right there? Can I actually say something to you, the human being, Milena, behind this camera? And if I'm going to talk to you, the human being, I'm going to have to say, hold it. Let's think about this. Let me give you an example that I just spoke about yesterday. I did a keynote speech, a rare keynote speech in London where I live, so I could see my kids. I think there are basically four things that are the keys to a curious brand in 2018. I would love the honor to be able to talk you through them. Is that alright? I know we're here in my office and there's lots of people, but okay, here we go. I think more brands need to question why they're doing things. So let's start off with a Q. Let's cover this in an acronym I'll give you. It's called QUIET. Q-U-I-E-T. I think, despite all the shouting, I think brands need to be more curious, more constantly curious, and the best way to do it is by being quiet. It all starts with questions. So, what are you doing as a brand to connect with your people on an emotional level? Are you asking a lot of questions of why you've done stuff, what your people need, what your people think of you? You know, I say, why don't we go to a site like answerthepublic.com, which has it compiles all the questions that people type on their little laptops, type into Google, and God forbid using Microsoft's Bing, but they type into Google and Bing. It gathers all of that data, and then you can take a look and you can say, okay, for example, I did a keynote yesterday on value brands. They wanted me to talk about IKEA, so I said, hey, okay, let's think about the questions that people type into Google or Bing about IKEA. I was fascinated. I went through reams and reams, went to answerthepublic.com, and I found out some of the questions people ask is, why, if you ask me, like, this is what a sofa looks like. Oh look, a nice IKEA sofa. But guess what? It took me 4 hours to put this thing together. It came in a little box, came through just like this, and to take it from this to this, where I could sit down and binge on Homeland on Netflix, took me 4 hours. We gotta sort this out. Well, fortunately, IKEA was listening, doing a little research, and they said the questions people ask are all about, we can't put together our IKEA, we sell it, we buy it for cheap, and then we can't put it together. What's the point of that? If you buy something and can't use it, it's worthless. Okay, so they bought TaskRabbit. If you go right now to Brent Cross in London and buy an IKEA sofa and you can't put it together, just call TaskRabbit and they'll be over within an hour. They will put your sofa together. That is a brand being curious, looking at all the questions. that anyone's asking in real time, and applying imagination, buying a startup like TaskRabbit, and changing the way people view of IKEA. Again, think of all the questions for the brand, apply imagination, like buying a startup, or like handling the fact that, you know, IKEA needs to have a mission to change the world. People type that into Google, how is IKEA changing the world? Well, they make a tent that is the absolute best tent. It's not even a tent, it's like a house. And it's the best tent for refugees. Like, I love the fact they've applied imagination to that question that people were asking. Hey, you're making money off of us. How can you help the world? A lot of people don't even relate to a brand unless the brand is doing something for the world. IKEA's addressed that. Again, they've asked questions, they've found imaginative answers like TaskRabbit and this amazing refugee tent / house, and then they look, are these ideas really creating empathy? That's the E in quiet. Questions, imagination, empathy. Are they creating empathy? Are people really connecting? They then, out of all those imaginative questions, they realized these are the ones we should focus on because these are the ones our customers will really emotionally connect to. And then they just went about the T, which stands for testing. They just tested stuff, and they found out TaskRabbit. Let's handle that. Let's do the refugee tent. Can we find a way for couples to just get along? Because couples come and fight in our stores. Like, I think there are marriages and relationships that have failed not because of a relational problem, because of people not being able to decide on what color chairs and sofas and cabinets they want. IKEA, you got books happening right now out there called Horror Store, and it's not because it's tough to put your furniture together, it's because people go to IKEA to break up, to find out that they're incompatible because their furniture tastes are completely separate. IKEA, that's another problem you should apply quiet to. You should find a solution to that. And I hope, Milena, that maybe some of the people that see this will be able to look at brands and say, you're not questioning what you do enough, you're just taking it because the marketing manager who got fired a year ago thought it was a great idea. Maybe you should question everything, apply imagination to those things, and freaking nail connecting emotionally with the customer in 2018. Because if you don't, you may not be around in 2019. Milena will not be there to Instagram for you. She will not take you on. She won't believe in you. And a lot of young people, and I'm not talking young, I'm talking people in their 20s who are basically helping brands express themselves visually and creatively, they will not work for you because they don't believe in you. Brands, I'm sorry, but you're going to have to actually get quiet to go loud on social. And I think there are a lot of people that should listen to this and find a way to be more curious, and it all starts now. Also come to Spark Me because it's going to be amazing, and there's a beach and we're going to have a lot of fun. We will see you there.